Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 200,000 cows they plan on killing in Ireland. Just war on the food, guys.
Yep.
It's happening.
Yep. You see, you got Ireland, you got France now that they're going to want to kill the cows, and you've got the Dutch, which we've already talked about several times over, and they're fighting back. So they've publicly come out now. We've got 3 countries that have come out, the Netherlands and the Dutch, and they're saying, all right, you guys, we are going to start killing the cows, and you're not allowed to grow them.
They're planning on cutting 65,000 cows per year for 3 years in order to meet their goals for their agricultural section, their climate goals. Now, there's not a lot to say about it. Just know they're going to kill some more food, and they're dairy cows of all things. I will read you a quote. Cuts to the dairy herd of 65,000 cows per year for the next 3 years will be needed to meet agriculture's climate targets, Department of AG officials have established in the internal briefing paper seen at the Farming Independent. So this isn't us saying it. This isn't hyperbole. This is fact. They're cutting the food supply.
They are. John Kerry, you guys, we talked about that the other day. He's even come out and said U.S. farmers must radically transform food production to meet net zero emissions by 2030. And they're saying, we're going to have to... And you guys, I watched the interview the other day of some kid, I don't know where he got his information, but they were interviewing people across the world about farmers. And these kids were literally saying, oh, yes, we need to stop growing food. And his quote was, why do they need to grow food? Food's in the grocery store. He literally said that. I wish I could find that video. And I'm like, seriously?
Oh,
do you not have any clue where the food comes from? There was a video on that. They were going around interviewing people.
The biggest problem with that is you can't fix stupid. I mean, you can fix anything else, but when people are brainwashed, they think food comes from the grocery store. It's wild.
I've even had people say that about meat before. I guess they don't comprehend that you're going to grow it somewhere. But even the World Health Organization, you guys, once again, talking about the World Health Organization, they seem to be everywhere lately, getting their nose into everybody's businesses. They're saying that 3.2 million acres of land across 124 countries are being used to grow deadly tobacco in places where people are starving, and they are saying that they said, stop supporting tobacco farms. You need to grow food and not tobacco. So, okay, fine. Tobacco's bad.
Well,
whatever you want to think.
Even if you're against tobacco, it doesn't matter.
It's your choice.
It's a choice. That's it.
And so the World Health Organization now is going to go into 124 countries and tell them what they should and should not grow. I have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, you can't grow this and you can't grow that. You eat bugs, Authoritarian state. That's what we're moving into. Speaking of that, California might soon get an electric bill based on how much they make. The higher income, the more you'll pay each month. This is nuts. Each bill will also have fixed charges that will be set based on income. Households with incomes over $180,000 will pay $92 extra a month. A 144% difference in San Diego, they'll pay $128 a month. So, this is redistribution of wealth. This is, I would say, on par for California. Bless your heart if you live there. I hate it for you.
Well, I have a problem with that for 2 reasons, because I was thinking about that as I was reading that article. I think it came out yesterday. So 2 reasons, and Chris and I were talking, and you guys know in some places in California, you don't even have AC, which AC takes up a lot of electricity. I know, we have an AC, and I pay the electrical bill. So if you didn't have that, and you were trying to be conservative, and you made $180,000, that's not fair. So, like you said, redistribution of wealth.
Communism's not fair.
Huh? Yeah, no, it's not. And then there was another thing that I was thinking about that it wasn't fair. Now I'll have to come back to that in a minute. But so you guys, this is just another thing where they're just stepping in. They're saying what you can and you cannot do, and you don't have a choice. That's not true. And if you're trying to live conservatively, that's not fair to you. And someone else is just blowing the AC off the roof, and they are making, say, $75,000 a year, and they're paying nothing.
Well, it messes with the incentive. This is, government intervention. It's not going to work. It's going to make things worse, but they always do it. It's crazy. They refuse to learn from history. And they keep making poor decisions, which will eventually run this country slap into communism, globalism, whatever you want to call it, some ism that isn't freedom. Now, let's move on to Which one do you want to do?
Next, we got a lot of stuff.
We got tons of stuff, and I'm
So
about
I'd
to talk
like
about
to-
some stuff I'm probably going to get in trouble over.
Newark. I'd like to talk about this, the Cardinal, and I think this is in New Jersey, if I found this correctly. And this actually just came out today. This was just a few minutes ago. He has come out and urged his faithful followers to forego the Second Amendment rights. He quotes,
Oh, man.
and this is from a Catholic cardinal. He has said, his name is Joseph Tobin, you can look him up, quote, "It's true that we have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, but rights always involve responsibilities. In this case, the responsibility to protect the innocent and to secure public safety and good order. He is saying that we need to voluntarily give it up, the Second
Give
Amendment.
up your guns voluntarily.
He said, let's voluntarily, quote, set aside our rights in order to witness the truth that only peace and never violence is the way to build a free society that is lived in our homes, our neighborhoods, and our community, our nation, and our world. Sounds good, but come on, let's face it. Let's look at the countries that's done that. Right now in Serbia, I don't know if you guys saw that. They just did that in Serbia. They had some mass shootings. Sorry, complete side note here. They had some mass shootings, and they actually asked all the citizens to voluntarily bring in their guns. And you guys should see the pile of guns that the citizens are bringing in right now.
Now, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and get one. That's in the Bible somewhere. You move on to Kohl's?
Yeah, let's go on.
It's unbelievable about the Second Amendment. But there's some more news about the LGBT stuff that's being crammed on everybody's throat. And Kohl's has become the latest major retailer that shoppers have found selling LGBT pride clothing. Now, strange that they're selling a lot of baby clothing. Among the merchandise for Pride Month includes Baby Sonoma Community Pride bodysuit set for young children from ages 3 months to 2 years old. I'm not going to talk about the outfits, but it includes Love is Love, phrases on pillows, bib shorts, candles, banners, towels. Kohl's stock has sunk over 50% over the last year, according to Fox News, and I just don't see how this is going to help that out any. But Kohl's is, they're going woke, or they are woke.
Well, let's go that a little further. So they're saying also now, because of this, we've had a pushback on some of this, if you guys noticed, which, by the way, when you were in Target the other day, I'm so glad you did not find a swimsuit, because I was scared to death you were going to put yourself.
What are they going to say? You're going to dance around Target? Interview people.
So
Like the swimsuit?
So glad he didn't find that
It's a tuck
swimsuit.
special.
But they have also, the Human Rights Campaign has declared a national state of emergency for the LGBTQ plus people. And you guys, everybody has rights. I get that. I do get it. But this is just becoming it's just becoming forced on people and just pushed down on people. I was watching a family pride parade the other day, and it had nothing to do with what we're talking about. I mean, it was an outright scary display of what they were showing, and kids were sitting right there seeing what was happening in that parade. I don't know if you saw some of those videos.
No, I can only imagine.
But yeah, and I'm just sitting there and I'm watching. I actually watched an interview the other day with I think it was Anheuser-Busch, I think that's what he was with, and he was talking about how these companies, Vanguard, BlackRock, that have all these, they're invested in a lot of these big, like Target and places like that. They're advising them to push this. When, if you turn around and look what BlackRock shareholders just did the other day, they came out and said, absolutely not. We don't want any part of this, and they voted it down. And they're telling these companies to do this, and then they're actually suffering. I mean, what is it, 9-10 billion now Target's lost? I don't even know how much Bud Light has lost. So
Billions.
I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes that's causing them to push this agenda, but it's definitely...
Well, speaking of pushing an agenda, if you live in Minnesota, the Department of Corrections has agreed to provide
Oh, yes.
Miss or Missed or they or it, Christina Lusk, 57, a vaginoplasty. Never thought I'd be saying that on video. But this will come from taxpayer dollars because he's locked up, or she's locked, whatever. It's locked up, and it wants to strengthen its policies regarding transgender inmates. So Lusk, who was arrested in 2018 and serving a sentence until 2024 for felony drug offenses, will be provided, I'm assuming through taxpayer dollars, a vagplasty and sent to a female holding facility.
Yep, instead of a male. Yes.
And that's going to be coming from taxpayer dollars. It's just, this is the nuttiest stuff. I mean, it's on and on and on.
I know, Chris and I, when we get through reading some of this stuff, he and I will literally look at each other and go, is this for real? I mean, are we really living through some of this stuff? And that's just tip of the iceberg on some of the stuff that we could probably go on about.
It's like the Glamour magazine that showed
Yes.
this Brown character. I don't have his full name. Well, maybe we'll call him Doo-Doo.
So he's a female.
Well, he's working on a children's book right now. Go ahead.
He's a female that had his boobs cut off. He, she, whatever. She had her boobs cut off. So now she says she's a male. And she got pregnant. Or he got pregnant, he's saying. And he's on the cover of
He's
Glamour.
on the cover with a suit painted on him. And he's saying he is working on a children's book, an autobiography that highlights his pregnancy, and hopes it will serve as a resource for other transgender people. And they're so proud of it. I just don't understand what they don't understand about the human anatomy. I don't really get it. I don't understand that. Well, you know, I'm not going to talk too much more about it.
Well, I mean, guys, we showed a video the other day, in one of the other videos just recently, we were talking about Bill Gates, and they were talking about the mosquitoes. And even they referred to them as female, male, boy, girl. I mean, come
and they
on.
separate them by
Yeah.
their differences.
Yeah.
The females were bigger, the males were smaller. You know, male and female have different, obvious differences, and some of them internal. You know, you can separate them out like that. So, I don't know. You know,
It's a different world.
It is wild. What we're witnessing puts me in mind of Sodom and Gomorrah, and I pray that we get out of this. I pray that, there's a man that will stand in the gap, that he might not destroy the land. It's scripture I'm trying to memorize. I'm doing a poor job of it.
You're doing good.
I will.
And you guys read, as women, read Proverbs. You want to be a good wife, read Proverbs. There's a lot of good stuff in there. She rises early. She takes care of finances. You guys, we need to be those people.
As best as we can.
Yep.
Something I'm going to do every day. I've committed to reading my Bible every day without fail. And I'm going to continue doing that. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing to the videos, watching us, spending your time with us. It means a lot. Yep. Have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.